I know when a show is going to be good when I don't know where to start. When I don't know at from what angle I should take this. When I've got note upon note and this, yes, but this, but not that. Yes, but in this case, but I'm not so sure. That is my favorite. In the real world, it's the kiss of death. It's the kiss of death. I'm going to start in no particular order. I'm going to speak to you in a way that only perhaps you would understand. Maybe only you would understand this. If I were to say this on Fox News, News Nation, whatever Nation News, Newsmax, Max News, Max Nation, Nation, whatever the permutations of the basically the same regurgitated, pathetically frightful, and cowardly review of one of the most important issues ever. If I were to do that, if I were to veer, or put it this way, if I were to appear on one of those platforms, I would never be allowed. First of all, because I have to say it in 1 minute. Second, I have to be along with a bunch of morons who don't even know how to pronounce Jouffre and don't even have a working understanding of correct pronunciation of English, but I digress. I want to start with one of the most interesting things right now that is happening. First and foremost, let me welcome you. Let me thank you for being a part of this. Let me thank you for joining us. Let me thank you seriously for just watching me um work through this. Please, if you watch and listen to my words, please do not be confused if all of a sudden I change a word of a title versus the title that's in the thumbnail. I don't want to get into details, but I am constantly negotiating this weird algorithm. And those of you who have ever been um, uh, media producers and the like, you'll know what I'm talking about. I want to start off with an idea. My favorite person on the internets, as it were, my favorite ever. When it comes to political and certain geopolitical, I love Mearsheimer. Have loved him since I don't know how I got across him. Regarding military, I love McGregor. I think Scott Ritter is spot on. These are kind of experts and expertises, and and I love Judge Knapp's unique and wonderful world view on jurisprudence and juridical matters, and those are really my favorites. I love people who tell it the way it is. I love Pepe Escobar, and I love a lot of people who just they something connects with me. I don't know what it is, but the best, the most unique person ever that I have seen and I follow and have listened to repeatedly is a mathematician and kind of a bad boy, kind of Peck's bad boy. This contrarian, um, Eric Weinstein, and again Steinstein. I believe it's Weinstein, and you always have to ask. And how he sees things, sometimes the way he describes it, it's abstract, it's dada, it's wonderful. And it is so terrific. And oftentimes, whenever you watch him, you are guaranteed that the person you're talking to has no idea of what he's saying. They don't want to say it. They don't want to say what? And it's not because he's incoherent. It's because what he's saying is so cleverly and beautifully abstruse to the point where it's rephrased. The man who is losing his mind and I say that with all due respect, is Alan Dershowitz. I don't know what happened to this guy. I thought to I have never. It's like, Al, I think you're losing your fastball. You're saying some of the most ridiculous things ever. I want to say something, if you will, parenthetically. My message to Bibi Netanyahu, to my Israeli friends, to my Zionist friends, whatever you want to. I have a very simple suggestion to you. Get a new group of people. Douglas Murray, Dershowitz, you need a new craft. You're missing the point. They are killing your idea by virtue of this ham-fisted, ham-handed, this brutal kind of a clubbed approach, this repetition of 3 or 4 terms, October the 7th, October the 7th, October the 7th, Hamas, 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 Hamas. Anyway, that's for another time. That's for another time. First, let us begin again by thanking you for being a part of this. And let's get right down to business, okay? Number one, in no particular order, what nobody will say is that they do not believe the official account that Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide. They just won't. They can't do it. It's like there's a rule. You have to be able to say, I disagree with the official finding. The official finding means nothing to me. In fact, if you want to kill my chances of believing anything, call it the official finding. Call it that, and I'm through with it. You hear what I'm saying? I'm through. Call it the official. Well, the official finding. It has been. The government has ruled it as a suicide. I've been through this a million times with you. There are reasons. I don't want to go through petechial hemorrhaging and hyoid and thyroid cartilage fracture. I don't want to go through that again with you. But there are reasons that there are reasons. There are reasons. I have told people before, there are aspects of the official story of 9/11, the official narrative, and I'm telling you, would you like to hear what they are? No, because they interpret what I'm saying as basically poo-pooing the whole thing and somehow attributing it to Dick Cheney depressing a plunger somewhere in the basement of the White House to bring down the towers and Building 7. I mean, I never said that. They never even listened to me. I said, would you like me to tell you? No. Would you like me to? No. Wow. You don't want to hear? No, I don't want to hear this. So they can't do this. They can't do it. But here was a story. This was so interesting. And let me tell you why Weinstein is so perfect. He's such a genius. They said, do you believe, by the way, Douglas Murray is this annoying. He's obviously trying to push Piers Morgan. He's coming after you. He's another one of these British people who talks like this. And he's this snippy, he says nothing, but because he has a British accent, people say, oh, was he Oxford? Was he Eton? Oh, I see. Was he Cambridge? Oh, he went to public school. Really? That's just incredible. Because we say, do you listen to what they're saying? Do you listen to what they're saying with them? No, I don't listen to what I'm saying, but I do believe it. Okay, fine. All right, terrific. But they asked a question: do you believe that this was a suicide? And Eric Weinstein said, I don't think there was anybody who was, based upon his final days on Earth, and I'm paraphrasing poorly perhaps, but people who were in the final days of his earth, on this earth, were as less likely, less prone, less apt, less inclined to commit suicide than Jeffrey Epstein. And he may, listen to this, he may have had some help. What does this mean? He may have had some murdering him. He may have had help murdering him. What is this even? What are you even saying? What? Wait. What? He may have had help. Well, I don't know if he. I don't think. In fact, even Dershowitz, who's lost it, he's just. Whenever I see Dershowitz, I don't. He doesn't have it. It doesn't have it. He said, "Well, it's hard to say. This is guy's a criminal lawyer. He's into forensics, the forensics. My God, read anyway." He says something like, "Well, I don't think he. There may have been some other people who might have helped. Helped? They murdered him. What do you mean he was too chicken to commit suicide by himself? Is that what you're saying? I need some help. Little help. When your tennis ball goes into the next court, little help. Thank you. They won't say it. Weinstein won't either. He won't do it. But you see, I see he might have been, you see. Yes, I was wondering, could you please tell me how he smashed his hyoid bone and how he crushed his thyroid cartilage by the little paper thin, almost like little strips. And would you show me the rivulets, the strict, the deep, routed strangulation marks, which are indicative of the most powerful of forces that he would have not done were he merely to lace his CPAP cord, or whatever you want to call it, around his neck, thoracic ligature. Could you tell me, please, could you please, Dr. Barton, would you tell me, would you tell me, how could he have possibly fractured his hyoid bone using these strips and shards of bed linens and the like? Would you please, is that possible, remotely possible? No. And the particular hemorrhaging, is this consistent with strangulation or with suicide? Strangulation. And based upon a reasonable degree of medical certainty and your expertise, did you form an opinion as to what was the cause and manner of that? Yes. Homicide. But the closest we've got to it is Weinstein saying, I think if ever there was somebody less inclined to off oneself, it would have been For the love of God. Oh my God. Incredible. Now, and another example of Dershowitz just off his this one, I don't know what he's talking about. He fancies himself, he's a liberal. He was a liberal. He's 85 years old. Still a hell of a lot more. By the way, little side note, time out. You know what somebody told me? And I don't know if this is even true. Do you know that somebody said something very interesting about Joe Biden? Little time out. They said, that sunburn he had? Yeah. You know what somebody said? They said, if I didn't know better, that almost looks like a chemical peel. And I never, ever, maybe he's gearing up for something. I don't know. Here's another one for you. If you're old enough, how many of you kids remember this one? Somebody was talking about Claudine Gay, not to be confused with Spider Savage and Claudine Longe. Do you remember that one? Of course not. Do you remember that? That famous? What year was that? Spider Savage, Claudine Longe. It was 1976. She's alive. She's 81, and she's still married, I think, to her lawyer, or was. And anyway, that's too much. Okay, let me stop right now. Because I have to ring the cash register. Oh, I'm not even done yet, my friends. Now, listen to me very, very carefully. As you know, and as I've said this repeatedly to you, two things I want to tell you. Number one, and get these out of the way because they're important and they're critical and we love them. Number one is the wonderful people, the great people, the terrific people, our dear friends at mypillow.com. Now, mypillow.com, I told you, I read this wonderful email of somebody who said he's on this fifth pair he absolutely loves. He's going to get the moccasins now. And you can do it too. I want you to go to mypillow.com, and use promo code Lionel. It's very simple. Very, very, very simple. mypillow.com, promo code Lionel. There it is. mypillow.com/solidus virgule Lionel. And see for yourself the absolute beauteousness of the products from my good friend, that great American, that friend of mine, a friend of yours, and friend of freedom, Mr. Mike Lindell. You know me, love him. mypillow.com, promo code Lionel. Look at it. You've got to go every single day because there are new sales, new items, new clearances, new overstocks, new stuff that will absolutely render you a quivering mass of protoplasm. Now, as far as emergency food insecurity, and getting ready for the big one, listen to our friends at preparedness.com. They can't handle the truth, but you can. The truth is the clowns running this joint live for chaos. And many of our problems could be solved overnight, but they let them be. Destruction fuels them. If you can handle that truth, you need to visit my website, preparewithlionel.com. Preparewithlionel.com. You'll get $60 off a much-needed 4-week emergency food kit from My Patriot Supply. The country's largest preparedness company, My Patriot Supply, is your fighting chance at survival. Sealed inside rugged packaging, these delicious meals last up to 25 years and provide over 2,000 calories a day. Think about that. Eat right in emergencies with this 4-week food kit from My Patriot Supplies. At this low price, you can get one for everyone in your family. Visit preparewithlionel.com. Write this down. Commit it to memory. Preparewithlionel.com. Order by 3 p.m. for free same-day shipping. Prepare right now at preparewithlionel.com. One more time. Preparewithlionel.com before total chaos ensues. All right, dear friends. Now, a couple of things. As I was before providing some information from my private channel, and there's the link, I mentioned some things regarding Mr. Dershowitz and how he has. We need a new bevy, a new troop, a new group of legal and juridical scholars to help the cause, because he has run. He doesn't have it anymore. So I was listening to a very, very good show. I like them a lot. And I love to watch something and view things from my vantage point as being the sage wisdom, the pate, the prelate, the intellectual pangendrum, the wise man, as it were. And I see things, and it's very interesting. There's only crystal ball, which is very interesting. This is breaking points, and the rising. I really like them. I like those two. And I love to see kind of the interpersonal. Robbie, scared shitless, isn't afraid. Remember the old expression, wouldn't say shit if you had a mouthful of it. Just doesn't say anything. You just got to, well, I don't know. Microwaving of kittens, I don't know. It takes no position on anything. Robbie, please. How about bludgeoning the elderly? No, I look. I don't. Meanwhile, Crystal is off and running. Different show, but Sagar is 2-bit kissing the arse of Tucker Carlson. If you want to see something which is absolutely one of the most obsequious, fawning suck-ups ever, this lickspittle, boot-licking, absolute. It's embarrassing. I couldn't do what I was doing without you. And Tucker saying nothing. I believe in free speech. I never thought of that. Free speech. Huh. Caring more about our country than foreign countries. I don't know where I've been. You are brilliant. Okay. But Crystal did bring up this compilation. It was, of course, when I saw Weinstein, I thought, oh, this is great. Weinstein, a British investigative reporter, and Dershowitz. And Dershowitz, no, excuse me, there's another one. Pardon me, another one. Dershowitz said, about Epstein. As far as I'm concerned, he said, I if these radical feminists or whatever, where were they so worried about the various goings on of this man? Where were they when they were finding about or hearing about for the first time the rapes of women and the horrors that occurred at on October the 7th with Hamas? And I said, you're kidding me. He made some kind of a connection, like, who are these people so worried about Epstein and that thing and not worried about it? It's like, oh dear God, for you to drag out these women, it's like, this is your idea of a point? Oh, it's time to go home. It's time. Oh dear God, please stop it. Unbelievable. Okay. Some other things though, going back to what others. Do you think there's anything to the notion? Oh, by the way, some of these people whose names were, quote, mentioned, they will say things like, for example, did you see Al Gore? No, I didn't. Al Gore's name was mentioned in the document drops. It was mentioned as not having been a part of. Wait a minute. If your name is mentioned, do you think Albert Einstein was a great physicist? Albert Einstein's name was mentioned. Well, but there's no context, and that's what this is. So nobody even goes through this. They say, well, Bill Clinton's name was mentioned 55 times. Okay. Prince Andy, let me ask you a question. Did you hear anything at all from any of these alleged drops that you thought was something you had never known before? Let me ask you again. Did you find anything about these drops that you found or you thought you never knew before? Anything? 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 I mean, not where you said, not a fact like, well, I didn't know that the island was closed on Tuesday. I mean, something where you thought, wow, whoa, wow. Did you? Nope. Nope. Mm-mm. This is called a limited hangout. Remember the great Daniel Ellsberg, when he said, I needed all this stuff. Many people have suggested that what Ellsberg basically reported, which nobody really read the Pentagon Papers, was actually mentioned before. So it gave you the idea of a great revelation when in fact it wasn't. Now, did any of you find the notion of Stephen Hawking? Dershowitz is the Ed Koch of law professors. Remember Ed Koch? Stop. I Ed Koch used to come after me on WABC, and I used to hear Ed Koch, the mayor of New York, would say, "Stop." You would be interviewing, debating him, and that's his retort, his riposte. Stop. Most annoying, but you're kind of sort of maybe a little bit there. Stephen Hawking's. Laura, I don't know if you did this, but for some reason, Dershowitz was consistently referring to Hawking as Stephen Hawking's. I don't know why. Again, one of these things that drives me crazy, like Giffer. Somebody called her Giffer. Okay. I would like Hawking's. It's Hawking. Please, Kevin. Hawking. No pluralization. No S. Lose the S. Hawking would have to be forced to participate. Do you know? Did you do any research? Any prior allegations? Hawking radiation. Very good. By the way, there was something very interesting in Daily Mail. There was this piece that said somebody actually had to say, we got to put Stephen Hawking, a renowned astrophysicist, was known for and mention Hawking radiation. You've got to be kidding me. Had to bring it up. Hawking radiation. Unbelievable. In any event, no, Laura, don't apologize. Don't apologize, please. It's Hawking, and it's fine that you did this. I just wanted to let you know. That's all. Please forgive me for being so pedantic myself that I were to correct you. It's wrong of me. Now, I would like to refer you to the following. It's from the Huffington Post. Dateline dated February the 28th, 2012. This is 11 years ago, actually 12 years ago, soon. David Freeman. And this is report claims Stephen Hawking frequents sex club. Stephen Hawking may be confined to a wheelchair. Well, it's more than a wheelchair. But that doesn't seem to keep him from making the rounds. The celebrated astrophysicist is a regular at a sex club in California, according to media reports. The 70-year-old, almost completely paralyzed by a neurological disorder known as motor neuron disease, frequents a San Bernardino swingers club called Freedom Acres. A longtime member of the club told Radar Online. Quote, I have seen Stephen Hawking at the club more than a handful of times, the member told the celebrity site. Quote, he arrives with an entourage of nurses and assistants. Last time I saw him, he was in the back play area, lying on a bed, fully clothed, with two naked women gyrating all over him. Does Hawking really like lap dances? Well, not so fast. A University of Cambridge press officer told the Cambridge News. Number one, lurid statements appeared on a website in America, but they are not true. Tim Holt told the paper. Quote, this report is greatly exaggerated. And now it's exaggerated. He visited once a few years ago with friends while on a visit to California. He went. Why would Niels Bohr? Why would this renowned astrophysicist go to a strip club or whatever? Twice divorced and the father of three. Hawking is director of blah 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 blah. Let's see. And Freedom Acres. Well, its website calls it one of the most dynamic and largest on-premises swinger club in the Los Angeles and Orange County area, with an active member list of couples and single ladies. Isn't that wonderful? So there you have it. Did you know anything about that? I'll bet you didn't. Do you think maybe somebody would like to at least discuss? When Stephen Hawking, so when you hear our good friend Epstein, who was just an intel op, fabricated this big hedge funder that never filed. Nobody was a client. Nobody. He never made. It was bullshit. I mean, it's so obvious. Obvious. Gina said he can look. I like to look. No, I like to watch. You like to watch? Yes. Yes, Eve. I like to watch. You know who said that. So anyway, now, during the course of this, initially, I said, wait a minute. Epstein, Dershowitz, Les Wexner, Ehud Barak. You know, if I wouldn't be surprised if this was some kind of a Mossad enterprise. Now, you know what happens when you say Mossad, right? Oh, you absolute anti-Semitic, wait. No, I'm not anti-Semitic. Oh, you are, but you stop. Do you know there are in our country 17 agencies? There's the DNI, the Director of National Intelligence. There's the NSA, the DIA, the NGA, the National Geospatial Intelligence Agencies. There's Army Intel, Air Force Intel, U.S. Space Force Intel, and the Office of Naval Intelligence. And there's others. It goes on and on and on. 17 of them. National Reconnaissance. You can go. You can just go through this. This is the most. We have more. There are 17 basically intel agencies, intelligence agencies overview of intel agencies right now. Now, in the world, oh my God, it gets even better. We have it just gets even bigger. MI6, MI5, well, MI5 is whatever. ISI, FSB in Russia, international intel agencies. Let's look at these, shall we? International intelligence. Here we go. World intelligence and security agencies. Shall we go through these? There's the U.S. There's Australia. They have name it. And Austria is called the General Directorate for Public Safety. Did you know that? How about China? China's is called the Chinese Intelligence Agencies. There's a Ministry of State Security. There's something I cannot pronounce. Ministry of Public Security. Should I tell you some more? How about France? What have we got in France? Anybody interested in France? Oh yeah, France. They have the SGDN. How about Israel? Let's look at Israel right now. And we say this out of love. We're not being conspiracy theorists. We're not doing. Here we go. Israel, and this of course is there's Mossad. There's Shabak, which is the Israel Security Service. There's Amman, which I think never gets the credit. That's military intelligence. There's LECAM, the Bureau of Scientific Relations, and the Center for Political Research, and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Okay? And it goes on and on and on. There are nothing but people called spooks and spies and intel that have been looking, and this thing screamed at Mossad since, because I say this out of love and respect for Mossad. Maybe not after October 7th, which is another story. Because do you think, does anybody, do you think that maybe it could have possibly happened that Mossad knew nothing about the Hamas attack? No. They know every phone number of everyone in Gaza. They know they say, well, we call everybody. You what? We call them. You have the phone number? Everybody. But you know what? We had no idea. They were working on 2 years plus, building mock cities, paragliding. Who knew? Right there? Anyway, I'll let your mind wander on that. So here's the story. After we said this for years ago, lo and behold, we hear this. The Jeffrey Epstein list of associates unsealed. This is according to the Daily Mail. By the way, Daily Mail is terrific. I think they're great, as long as they give you some kind of a reference and don't merely opine things. The Jeffrey Epstein list of associates unsealed by U.S. judge has reignited suspicions the pedophile. By the way, why is he a pedophile? Once that name sticks, disgraced financier. Oh, this is pedophile financier. Financier, whoever dealt with him? Who were his clients? What's his financier? It's complete nonsense. Once there is a name that is that's it. Anyway, the Jeffrey Epstein list of associates unsealed by U.S. judge has reignited suspicions that the pedophile financier was an asset for Mossad, the Israeli intelligence agency. Israel's foreign prime minister, Ehud Barak, was identified in the bombshell dossiers Wednesday night. He served as a PM from 1991 to 2001. After serving the IDF for 35 years, rising to the chief of the general staff. By the way, he's the most decorated IDF or soldier ever in the history of Israel. While he is mentioned only fleetingly in the new files, an Epstein victim asked whether she'd ever given Barak a message. There's long been speculation surrounding his relationship with the financier. Please. Barack met with Epstein some 36 times and was pictured entering his Manhattan townhouse with a scarf around his face in 2016. Young women were seen coming in and out of the residence that same day. Former Israeli spies have gone on record stating that Epstein's international sex trafficking was a honeypot entrapment operation. Oh, a honeypot entrapment operation. Getting valuable compromat. Kompromat. Compromat. Material to blackmail political and business elites. Prince Andrew, Randy Andy, who said, I don't sweat. He's almost as good as Corinne Jean-Pierre. She's the best for it. I don't know. Did you ever have the cocaine bag tested? I'll be a son of a, she's good, but he's better. You see, let's see. Ghislaine. Where do I know that name? Oh, yes. I think I met her a few times. What about this picture of you? Oh, yes. Well, Photoshop. I don't know. How dare you? Anyway, I don't know how that is exactly. Are you saying you don't know her? Well, I'm not saying I don't know her, but I well, Ms. Jouffre said that you were sweating quite a bit. Well, you see, I'm born. I have I'm a bromidrotic. You see, bromidrosis is the excessive sweating of perspiration, and I was born with for some peculiar reason. I don't know. I do not sweat. I don't schwitz. I don't perspire. I don't know. I could be. So you don't sweat? No, damn. A tube, a little antiperspirant for me lasts me maybe 6 to 7 years. Did you know that? Now Fergie, oh, she sweats like a, oh, good heavens. By the way, don't be surprised if Fergie and Andrew marry again. You heard me, right, honey? Don't be surprised. Remember that little toe sucker? Remember that one? Remember that Houston banker having her little piggies suckled by the children bound about? Mommy, what are you doing? I'm kidding. I'm having my peds manipulated. Is what I'm doing. Why? I don't know. That was what Andrew. This is when I realized he. Anyway. So going back to what I was saying, Prince Andrew, also named in the new list, was Epstein's useful idiot, according to an ex-intelligence officer, and described by the financier as his Super Bowl trophy for his powerful connections. You see, during the pair's friendship, Andrew invited Ghislaine Maxwell and the financier to high society events in London, even allowing them to stay at the Queen's Balmoral estate. At the time, Andrew served as the UK's international trade envoy, helping the government to promote business abroad. You see, Maxwell, according to the Daily Mail, who acted as Epstein's madam, well, yes, I guess, is also closely intertwined in the alleged honey trap operation. You see, because her father, Robert Maxwell, a British newspaper magnate, is alleged to have been a Mossad agent and may have been provided the link between Epstein and Jerusalem's intelligence agency. He, of course, was dead. Like Epstein's alleged hanging, awaiting trial, Maxwell's death on his yacht, the Lady Ghislaine, off the coast of Spain in 1991, has attracted the suspicions of assassination. I don't know. Do you think any of these people, do you think anybody at News Max, Nation Max, Wet Max, do you think any of those idiots, speaking of useful idiots, these bombasts, these dullards, these dimwits, these twits and tits and these fools would ever deign? Why am I speaking like this? I have no idea. Deign to bring up the obvious. No, they wouldn't. No. Because you want to be Fredo Cuomo. Oh, look, it's 100 pound. This is 100 pound barbell. And I'm using reverse extensions at my desk. Dorian Yates at his prime couldn't do this, but I'm doing this because I'm a very powerful man, you see. Very powerful. I'm Fredo Cuomo. And I lived in my basement during the Rona. Do you remember me? Yes. You believe that shite, didn't you? Why? Because you're stupid. And I'm not. But I'm here at another station with a station of misfit toys. Everyone a veritable pariah from another. Oh, we've got rejects here, reprobates here, fired, dismissed, troubled. Oh, almost as good as the Max News. We know and have been able to say for the longest time that we do not believe any of this nonsense, and they call us conspiracy theories, which is why. Look at this. Gina says, I'm dying laughing. I love it, Lionel. Yes. You see, that's what this is all about. How I would love to go on one of those shows. We're talking to, yes, Heathcliff, Heathcliff Cathcart, Percival Dingleberry from the school from the former MI6. Yes. Yes, you see, yeah. And you see, what we have here is obviously a connection that's so intriguing. Now, who doesn't know? Listen to what I'm saying. Remember, the best way to get around lies are probably is to tell the truth. Let me give you an example. Years ago, there was a show called West 57th Street, if I recall correctly. I think it was Meredith Vieira was on, this guy John Ferrugia or somebody. And they did this thing. They did this story where they took this amazing Randy, and he goes, we have a supposed evangelical minister who claims to be hearing voices from God. But we have picked up a communications trend. We picked up a signal where his wife goes out into the audience before this event, talks to people and says, and what are you here for? Well, I'm here because my husband has sugar diabetes. Praise God. And she was sugar diabetes. Not diabetes, sugar diabetes. And what about you? My daughter's deaf. Deaf, baby. A3. Okay. Section 2. And she goes through him basically. So as he's up there, he says, I feel the spirit speaking to me right now. And then you hear this. They're picking up the signal. Aisle 2. Lady, overweight, husband, sugar diabetes. Yeah, with the bouffant hair. Looks like Aunt B on steroids. Yeah, that one. Yeah, that one. He goes, I'm speaking about you. You are here because of your husband. Wait a minute. Jeffrey. His name is Jeffrey, is it not? Yes. Who has sugar diabetes. How did you know? Because the Holy Spirit, yay! In the name of Jesus, praise God, is giving me the direct. All right. So anyway, they record this. It's obvious bullshit. So they go and they meet this preacher. He goes, Reverend Terwilliger, yes, I want to play something for you. Yes, ma'am. Is that you in this? Yes. Listen carefully. You hear that voice? That's your wife's voice. Yes, ma'am. And your wife's telling you which person to go to because your wife has spoken to these people prior to this. And your wife has pre-screened these people. And basically, you're not hearing the voice of the Holy Spirit. You're not hearing the voice of God. You're not hearing Jesus. You're hearing your wife telling you this. Yes, ma'am. So it's not real. Yes, ma'am. So you're a fake? Yes, ma'am. She didn't say like, aha. She got nothing back. So they said, Mr. Clinton, yeah, I can't do a Bill Clinton, but remember when he was like, well, I'll tell you what now. Yes, Mr. Clinton, yes, we hear that you like them young. I sure do. What? I better believe it. Look at my wife. You ever see? Look it up. Look at that Hillary. She's got cankles like look. Just look at that. Are you kidding me? But I mean, young. I'm not talking infants now. I'm talking about young 20. Yeah, I do. I do, and I like them real pretty too. Oh, so did Jeffrey Epstein get him? He sure did. But made sure they knew what was going on. Kind of did he's like a little, well, he kind of did a kind of a review. Think of it as Tinder for, people like me, but I like them. I do. Well, and did you ever get a massage? Hell yeah. And did you ever enjoy your there is a piece on Mad TV, and I want you to see it. It's a guy named Michael McDonald, and one of the guys, Key or Peel, I don't know which ones are named, but they do a takeoff of To Catch a Predator. Please watch that. Please watch this. And he plays Chris, whatever his name is, Chris Hansen. And this guy comes out, a black dude with a fro on one side with a pick in it. And you got to see this. And you can't believe the shape this guy was in. Now he looks like a couch. Anyway, so he said, have a seat. He goes, yeah, baby. He says, do you realize the young lady you're talking to was claimed to be 13? He goes, yes, sir. Sweet as caught. And he just was, he didn't catch on that he was caught. He says, and do you realize that we're recording this? Can I get a copy of it? I mean, he did not understand. So when Bill Clinton is asked, did you say that you like young women? He said, I sure did. What would you do? How many people would say, well, you know what? At least the guy's telling the truth. Anybody see a problem with that? Anybody see a problem with that? Yes, the Afro comb. Remember that? Anybody have a problem with that? Seriously. Why he's going with Jeffrey Epstein when he knows he's an international, a trafficker of the first, or the trafficking. I'll take their word for it. I don't know any firsthand because there's no real evidence of the trafficking. This is not the kind of trafficking we're talking about. We're not talking about people who are taken into vans and people who are taken across borders. Because if you want to see trafficking, just go to the border. The United States government's number one border there is. Period. So anyway, I'm being dead serious. Do you see anything? Bill Clinton says he likes young girls. Now, what I would have said was, Bill, why are you going on a plane with Jeffrey Epstein? All you got to do is this. There was a case. I'll tell you exactly how it's done. There was a case. I'm not going to mention the name. It was years ago. Guys driving around Manhattan, as they say, in the back of a limo when they had limos. And he tells the driver, that one there. So they pull over. Driver gets out. When he had like the old days of the hat. Remember that, the black cap. He would say, my boss finds you very attractive and would like to meet you. What? And there's this limo and walks her over. Window goes down and says, would you like to go to lunch with us? I sure. Sometimes most of the time it worked. It was easy. When you're famous, you don't. You have to swat them away. You don't have to go to this guy to go fly on an island, especially when Secret Services told you, we're getting information from MI6, Mossad, FSB, PDD. Everybody knows this. Don't go there. Weinstein talks about a lipstick lamp or a camera that he sees in artwork. He sees it. I don't understand that. But there's a sense of invincibility. Look at Bill Gates. What is that all about? Now, Bill Gates is just He's Bill Gates. And you may say to yourself, well, why would he do that? Why? He said, well, he a couple of times he was raising money. Jeffrey Epstein didn't give him anything worthwhile. Bill Gates is the richest man, whatever the world. He doesn't need Epstein. Epstein's nowhere near him. That's why he's got an island. He's got an island. Who set him up? Who gave him an island? How did he get an island being a financier where he doesn't have any clients? He's a hedge funder with no office, with no nothing. It stung to high heaven. But when it came to women, I guess, or fame and stardom, nobody seemed to care about that. But see, but Bill Clinton, Bill Clinton can say whatever he wants. Bill Clinton says, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know who these people are. I was there. You betcha. You know who else was there? Your boss. And he can say, your boss. Shall I give you a list? I've got my list of people. Did you ever hear about his dinner parties? Epstein's dinner parties? Let me go through the list. On 71st Street, this thing was the hottest ticket in town. They went in and out all day long. He had a like a dormitory almost, like an apartment not too far from Bloomingdale's for his girls and whatever it was. And half of these, and I'm sorry to say this, half, if not all or most of these girls were recruited by the girls themselves. There was one girl who said, I'm getting the hell out of here. She left, sued, settled, whatever it is. I'm not excusing him. And if he is a pedophile, meaning he is interested, he has sexual attraction to young or prepubescent girls, and if the same goes for Bill Clinton, that's not against the law to be attracted to something. What you do is another story. You've heard me go through this a million times. I'm not going to waste my time with this. So I have this thing where I want to walk in there and to walk out on any stage and say, excuse me. Whether it's The View, whether it's, Max News or Nation Max or whatever the hell you want to, whatever these things are called, to walk out and say, excuse me, yes. When is anyone here going to grow a pair of balls and actually address the subject that needs to be done? All you're doing is you're reading names that were provided. When are you going to show real courage and explain what this means? Why do you have such contempt for your audience? Let me tell you why you're doing it. You're doing it because you're scared, because you were told, keep your mouth shut. I don't hear Murdoch's name. Maybe there's for a good reason. But something tells me that one of the reasons, and that we don't know, look, Murdoch's going after, he was after Jerry Hall. He's got his new wife. This guy's a horn dog, right? What is he, 99 or whatever this guy's walking around? But anyway, there's something about these people who are saying, don't go beyond this. Go up till here, go up to the list, make some Bill Clinton jokes. That's it. Everybody. They don't go. And nobody will talk about having on an expert. Not anybody. Nobody. Not Breaking Points, not the Rising, not I wish Tucker or anybody you want or Ben Shapiro. No way. But sit there and say, can you tell me something? Yes. Would you explain to our audience what a fractured hyoid bone means? And can you get this through ligature, or excuse me, from some type of ligature made from bed? Can you? No. Is there any reason to believe? Is this consistent with suicide? No. Why? Well, this, and this. Would you listen to? We're going to show you a report here of Dr. Bodden. Do you agree with this? Yes. Nobody does that. Nobody. I've never seen anything like it. We're a show, a TV show. I don't know if you like YouTube, but I'm always getting things on toe fungus. Make sure you drink apple cider vinegar. We love to hear this complete BS story about veggie burgers are less healthy than raw hamburger meat. You've got to be. Americans will believe anything, but we pretend to love medicine. I could just talk about vitamins right now and you'll go crazy. Do you ever do that? Do you ever bring up, well, K2, you got to make sure K2 with the calcium. You got to be K2. Well, see, it's a D3, but, well, we love this. So we love this idea about medicine and science and pathology, and we love back into the left and all these other guys. But when it comes to the issue of forensic medicine, nobody touches it. Nobody. Why do you think that is? And as I'm going to tell you, for the millionth time, where are the recordings, the tapes, the hard drives? Where are they? All this talk is a waste of time. Can you imagine actually looking at a what am I trying to say? At a transcript. Did you see Al Gore there? No, I didn't. Wow, I didn't see. Are you sure? Who cares about that? Imagine this. Hey, Bill, yeah. Did you ever? I never did anything in my life. Okay, Bill, let me show you something right here, my friend. This is interesting. We're going to show you something. This is a laser pointer. You see this up there? Is that you? Yeah. Who's that? Who's that young girl? And you see what she's doing to you? That's right. Who's that? That's you, isn't it? Theoretically. I'm just saying hypothetically. Is that you? Yes. We'll get the president of such and such, the chairman of the board of such and such, a certain billionaire, Bill Gates. Bill, yeah. Is that you? That's it. You got quite a gut on you there. Is that you? Yeah. Are you doing what I think you're doing? Let's say hypothetically. That changes everything. All this other kind of stuff. Was David Copperfield there to David, leave David Copperfield alone. He was performing, for God's sake. Michael Jackson, that's the safest one in town. Imagine that you're some in-house strumpet and you got to seduce Michael Jackson. Good luck. What do you do when his nose falls off? Sorry, somebody had to say it. So that's the way that goes. Liz Solak, God bless her. She's the den mother. Don't ever forget. Oh, by the way, look at that. Look at what someone writes here. I'm not going to mention it. Is that your pecker bill? It leans to the left. You've been hitting them around corners. That is called Peyronie's syndrome. Peyronie's syndrome. And this is where various, either the corpus callosum or not the corpus, the corpus cavernosa. One might be larger than the other, might be calcified. This is where the penis upon erection can veer, bend. It's very, but that was supposedly, that was the identifying mark that they said theoretically was connected with Bill Clinton. Michael Jackson, I believe it was a vitiligo. I think that was it. There's a lot of things. Did you know, by the way, that in most men, the left testicle descends lower than the right? And if it doesn't, it could be because the heart is kind of, oddly enough, instead of left to right or whatever, is positioned differently, or it could be cancer. There's a lot of things about people, but marks and things and whatever it is, which I find to be fascinating. But Peyronie's syndrome, in fact, let me read this to you. I remember being on the air and talking every day about Peyronie's. I had all kinds of urologists on. Peyronie disease is a condition in which fibrous scar tissue forms in the deeper tissues under the skin of the penis. This causes curved, painful erections. It can also make the penis shorter while erect. Peyronie syndrome is not caused by cancer. Penises vary in size and shape. I just want to clarify that. This is from the Mayo Clinic. There's also one too. Did you know there was the a terrible thing called priapism? And a friend of mine who was a priapism is an awful This is what is considered to be a perpetual erection, but not for reasons that you not out of excitation, but out of basically blood that cannot remove. Had a friend of mine who is a urologist said there was a guy working in a warehouse and he was mopping the floor, doing something, and he slipped. He did like a split, and he landed, and basically his scrotum and the scrotum perianal area basically smashed and basically broke, for lack of a better word. He had to remove. This man was in such pain. He had a 50 gauge or whatever this needle was, and he would have to remove blood that had pooled and accumulated. That was almost black. There was no oxygenation. And in order to make it go away, they said, we're going to have to, you'll never be able to be sexually active or whatever again. And he said, I don't care what it is. It's a horrible disease. This is priapism. And you've seen priapus if you've ever seen the walls of Pompeii and that sort of thing. Ask most men, and I'm glad you brought this up, Gina. Ask most men, and of course, women always use the word vagina for vulva. They get it completely wrong. But if you ask most men, ask men, explain the parts of the penis. They don't know what you're talking about. They have no what parts. What do you mean the parts? There's parts? Yes, there are parts. No idea. Because we don't care. We care more about our cars, and we care more about how things look in terms of about our weight. And people spend more money on artificial, plastic surgery and all that kind of stuff, versus something which is even more important: being able to know about our bodies, which is another subject we'll talk about maybe one day, because nobody wants to talk about that because people are so bloody stupid. It's not even funny. Not even funny. So, my friends, dear friends, I say to you, this is because your country is stupid. They don't know anything about anything. And they don't even know how. They don't even know how to look at this. They don't even know how to pay attention enough to this to care. Isn't that something? They don't even care. Now, my friends, you have been absolutely wonderful when it comes to supporting Mrs. L. I'm going to say this one more time, and I'm going to say this until the entire world knows about this. She has a marvelous YouTube channel called Lynn's Warriors, and this is the link. And I want you to go right there and just click on this link that's right there. That's it. Just click on it, and it will immediately take you to the subscription page. Huh? Pretty good, huh? Pretty good, huh? It's the least I can do, and you will thank me. And when you see the number of people the number of people who just absolutely are rip her off, you can't believe it. You cannot simply believe it. So that is that. In addition, dear friends, I provide you the following. This is her Twitter account, Lynn's Warriors, LYNNS_Warriors. Follow her, follow it. Believe me. And she's getting these look at this. Gina H802 says Lynn's channel is great. That's my girl. Yes, it is. Thank you, Gina. But also there are people who because of this Epstein thing call her, and she does these interviews, and she realizes these people don't know anything about it. They just know about it's because it's sexual, it's titillating, and it's like you're missing the point. I'm not defending Jeffrey Epstein, but he's not the trafficker people say he is. Not even close. He's a limited hangout. He's a distraction. He goes, the government. No, that's not what we're talking about. What about the border? By the way, did you know the number of people who are coming in buses? They're going into Jersey, and then the Jersey, they're trying to come into New York through Jersey. This is a joke. Unaccompanied children. We see them all the time. Today we see women on blankets, basically with their hands outstretched with babies. Now, when you get to be desperate, and you come from cultures that are below third world, do you think it's out of the ordinary for you to sell children? Happens all the time. Anybody want to talk about that? No, they want to talk about Stephen Hawking at an adult club. Saw a guy today, which was so sad. He was sitting in front of a store, just shaking. He was covered. He had that jerk. That have you ever seen that Kensington, PA? Look, just. Then I looked at him. It reminds me of my beloved mother, who used to say, "Remember, everybody was a cute little baby. That's somebody's baby. That's a mother's pride and joy right there. And it's true." And I looked at him. I thought, nobody is even. This is incredible. We live in zombie land. But we're talking about Jeffrey Epstein and private islands but I'm going to keep fighting for this. I'm going to keep fighting. I'm going to keep telling the obvious. I'm going to keep doing it over and over and over and over. And I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that we will cause the conspiracy theory notion of intellectual curiosity to be one of the most popular spectator sports around, because life is a conspiracy. And if you don't think there are nefarious groups, this screams conspiracy. Evil confederations of people bonded together to bring about something that's negative. You don't think this is a conspiracy? You don't think this conspiracy is an organization, two or more people of a confederation or criminal enterprise meant to or aligned for the purposes of some kind of nefarious or criminal activity? Come on, for the love of God. Okay? You know what I'm saying? All right, my friends. Listen, thank you. And Amy and Daniel Edward, Danny Edwards, Laura Floyd, bless your heart, Laura, Jamie Barker, Gina, you're a mad woman. You're a devil woman. Thank you for that. Oh, you're right. What am I saying? Please forgive me. February the 3rd. Thank you, dear heart. February the 3rd. If you think this is good, I got the guitar out today and I was ready to go. Oh, I was singing some filthy songs. Mrs. L was saying, oh, please. But I love it. That's the link right now at the Cutting Room, February 3rd, February 3rd, February 3rd, February 3rd. Cutting Room. I'm going to see you there. All right, dear friends, have a great and glorious night. It's 34 degrees in New York City. Colder than a well digger's ass. One of my favorite lines. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great, great, great and glorious day. Thank you so much for your love and your attention and your focus. Keep up the fight. Keep up the courage. Keep doing this. Don't let these bastards get you down, and don't let them redirect your focus. Okay, we're going to get this. As a great Cam Fong, as Chin Ho said, we're all in this together, brother. All right, my friends, see you tomorrow. And don't forget, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Da-da.